Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Allison Holmes, Senior Director at the Annenberg Foundation. Cindy Kennard was unable to be here this afternoon, which means I have the absolute honor of being your host for the final session of the 2023 Social Innovation Summit. I know you all have had a great time. I hear out in the hallways that this is one of the best networking opportunities they've had in a long time. And I've always found that to be true with Social Innovation Summit. So I hope you had a great time and that this final session will be worth you being here in the ballroom. So back in 2016, in response to rapid early growth of the LA tech sector, our visionary chairman, Wallace Annenberg, launched Annenberg Tech. And this was to increase access and opportunity for all Angelenos in the growing ecosystem. She knew then what we know now. LA was poised for major growth, and she asked us to think about how we might learn from those cities that have gone before us, and perhaps try a new way, one that included all Angelenos before the industry got too mature. Of course, there's troubling news from the tech sector of late: bank failures, layoffs, constant back and forth about AI, ethics, crypto, and more almost every week in national news. But despite all these challenges, to which none are immune, early indications seem to make a case that LA is on a different path. And I'm not just saying that because I'm #LongLA. Here's what the data actually says. According to a report released just days ago by Carta, Los Angeles was 5th among all US counties in total invested capital from Q4 of last year to Q1 of this year. And LA startup funding has remained more resilient here. While it dropped close to 60% in the last 6 months for the Bay and more than 50% for New York City tech region, in LA that number is less than 40%. Why is this happening? Because LA startup investors, VCs, have raised a significant amount of capital in the last 2 years, $7.2 billion last year, which is up from $4.7 billion in 2019. That's a lot. All this to say, there are huge opportunities and funding for entrepreneurs in Los Angeles. So what do we mean by this title, Investing in Success? We mean that we feel 100% confident that if we leverage our people, our creative minds, and our data to discard the old narrative around diversity and investing, we will see tremendous wealth creation. Our point of view remains the same, even as we rebuild from a global pandemic and a challenging economy. Investing in Black, Latino, women founders has nothing to do with a diversity investment or regulated DEI fund. It has everything to do with not wanting to miss the boat on making massive amounts of money. And I don't know about you, but I always feel that being left behind on great business opportunities isn't really fun. Former Superintendent John Daisy was known to say of Los Angeles, LA is America only sooner. America only sooner. That carries meaning on so many levels, from the rich diversity of our region, to engines of creativity and enterprise, to our evolving social and global cultures as part of our Pacific. But what America only sooner really comes down to is our people here. Angelenos think differently. The blue sky, which I'm not gonna lie, we haven't seen much of this year. But when it's here, the blue sky seeps into our brains and becomes a way of life. The past doesn't define the future. We are limited only by what we fail to dream up. So please think about that during this session as you hear about the untapped potential of the US Latino economy, hear about the lived experience of diverse founders and investors raising in LA, hear from social innovators squarely focused on tech, entrepreneurship, and equity. As you hear from today's speakers, I hope you'll reflect on how you can extend your network and link up with us to help ensure that Los Angeles can be a positive test case for what we all must consider when investing for success in the future of tech. Now, it's time to hear from a tech founder, a crypto expert, a social impact investor, a think tank leader about Latinos in the US and their impact on GDP, small business creation, and jobs. Please join me now in welcoming an incredible group of leaders to the stage. My good friend Beatriz Azevedo, Liz, come on up, Beatriz. That was your call, Beatriz? Okay, okay, woo! Liz Bazurto, Jessica Salinas, and Ana Valdez.